Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Red Dead Online and we're doing another outfit guide. Today we're going to be doing Robert Duvall's character as Gus McCrae from the TV miniseries Lonesome Dove. Definitely a great, if you're a fan of Western media, Westerns I should just say in general, then if you haven't seen Lonesome Dove, I definitely recommend it because it's one that I enjoy. There's a lot of things about Lonesome Dove that I really like, and I think a lot of people haven't seen it because it wasn't a movie, it was a miniseries. But it's definitely worth watching in my opinion, so give it a check out. But today we're going to be recreating, well, one of, if not the main character from the miniseries, and that being Gus. So there's going to be a little bit variation here and there, basically, because it's a 4-part miniseries. You know, he wears different outfits at different times. It's usually about the same outfit with slight variation, and I'll go through a couple different variations, but we're going to show you that. But first of all, we're going to start off with weapons. So if at any point in the video you find yourself liking the content, definitely leave a like on the video. Feel free to drop anything you might have on your mind down in the comment section, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. But with all that in mind, let's go ahead and jump into it with weapons. So first of all, we're going to start off with Gus's iconic sidearm, and now the best we can do here in the game is the Navy revolver. But in the movie, he uses a cartridge conversion version of the Colt Walker, which is not only a very rare gun, because not a lot of cartridge conversion Colt Walkers were ever made. It was not very common, considering by the time cartridges came out, there were much better, more advanced, more reliable guns that had been created, and also because there weren't even that many Colt Walkers to start with. It was one of the earlier revolvers developed basically directly after the Alamo, and it had just a myriad of problems. So it's super interesting. I personally, well, this miniseries is based off a book series, so it's possible that the author of the books or whoever was running the miniseries just picked the biggest gun from that time period they could find, and to be fair, the Colt Walker is pretty dang big. But with that in mind, the best we can do to try to imitate it is this Navy revolver, and I think it came out, I think it turned out pretty good, how I've got it looking here. And what we have here is the dark walnut grips with no engraving, on the ironwood grips I should say, with the dark walnut varnish. The mahogany would work as well, either one of those dark colors, but no carvings, no engravings on the gun. And then the metals, we're going to want to make blackened steel for the trigger, the barrel, and the cylinder, browned steel for the frame and the hammer, and then brass for the trigger guard. And that looks almost exactly identical to the gun that he uses in the movie. For reference, I am looking at the gun on my other screen as we say this. The only other thing to note about this is that the gun that he used in the movie has a circular builder, a circular barrel or a cylindrical barrel, not an octagonal barrel. So it looks slightly different, but other than that, well, and of course the size, the Navy revolver designed like this looks almost identical to his gun from the movie. So that is his handgun. Let's go through his other iconic weapon from the miniseries. All right, so for the other gun that he has, we're going to be using a Litchfield repeater in the game to imitate his Henry 1860 that he used in the miniseries, and it's going to look pretty dang stock because that's how his looked in the miniseries. It's going to be blued steel for the barrel, the hammer, and the lever, and then brass for the frame, the sight, and the trigger. Now, in real life, obviously anything that we have brass on here would have been made out of gunmetal, with it, which was a brass bronze alloy, but it looks an awful lot like this. If you want it to look slightly more shiny, the gold also works, and that's how I have my Litchfield set up most of the time, just because it's slightly more shiny. Either way works, but I think the brass looks a little bit more like it does in the movie. And so those are the two guns. Now, it makes a lot of sense. I should point out that we're not using any wrap on this. Obviously, we have improved rifling and improved sights, and I use a dark varnish. Again, the mahogany or the dark walnut are going to be your best option. If you want it to pop a little bit more, mesquite looks really nice on it, but it's a little bit brighter than it was in the movie. But anyway, as far as the guns for this outfit goes, they definitely make a lot of sense given the time that the movie takes place in and the, function of the people using them. I definitely love this combination. It's such a classic, actual Wild West build. So that is the guns for Gus McCrae. Let's move on to the outfit itself. All right, and so here we have our Gus McCrae outfit, and I think it turned out pretty dang good. Like I said, there's going to be some variation and some differences of opinion in certain items, and we'll go through those options as we get to them. But this outfit is the stock one that I went with, and it's from a particular part of the miniseries where he's, not wearing any of the extra clothing, but I'll show that stuff as we get to it. So let's just go through this. Oh, I was gonna say, before we get to the items of clothing, for the hair and facial hair, I went with white because he's got, well, kind of silverish white, because that's the best option we have, because he's got white hair in the movie, and he has a mustache that looks pretty similar to this one. I think it's called the Walrus in the game. And then just hair that's just long enough so that you can see it on the sides and on the back, because he didn't have very long hair in the movies. But again, make it white. And then I did keep the stubble on because I think it matches the way that he looks in the movies, because he's got a bit of stubble for the movies. Or I should say miniseries. I keep saying movies, but it's miniseries. But so that's the appearance as far as hair goes. Now let's go through the items that make up this outfit. All right, so for the hat, this is the first area where some people are going to want to go a different way. I chose to use this light tannish brown variant of the cutter hat because I think that it's probably the closest to the hat that he wears in the movie. It's not 100% perfect. His hat in the movie is a touch lighter. It's closer to white, and it's got a slightly higher crown, and the sides curve a little differently, but it's pretty dang close to the cutter hat in my opinion. I think this hat is the closest option that we have to matching his. Now, if we had the Bulldogger hat, I think it's called, from the single player campaign, it would be perfect, but as far as online goes, I think this variant of the cutter hat works the best. The other alternative is this light variant of the Liberty hat. Again, it's still a bit too dark. That we would need one closer to white, but the shape and style of this one is pretty dang close to his from the movie. Some people might think it's closer. I think it's not. I think the cutter hat works better just because the crown on this one is perfectly round, whereas his is all crimped up in the movie, or in the miniseries. So that's why I went with the other one, but this one would also work. So that's the hat. For the bandana, in the movie, he has sort of a pink patterned bandana that looks like this, or it's probably just wore out red. I couldn't find one that matched perfectly, but the patterned bandana is the one you want to go with. And I went with this one here just because when you're wearing it out in the open, it kind of looks a little bit lighter than the red one. Really, either or would work. But yeah, that's his bandana. For the shirt, I just went with the white everyday shirt. Now, for certain parts of the movie, it looks more like he's wearing what would be a Union suit. And then in other parts, he's wearing, it's not just a plain white shirt, it's got stripes on it. So there's various options for the shirt, but I think just the plain white shirt looks the best. Then for suspenders, I went with the yellow striped variant of the crossback detail spenders. I think they look suspenders. I think they look the most like the ones that he wears throughout the miniseries. For the weapon equipment, I chose to use the black Bulger gun belt just because I think it looks the most like the one he wears from the miniseries. Now for the pants, I ended up going with these light brown variant of the Bandito pants. They're not 100% perfect because the ones in the, that he wears in the show or the miniseries are actually two-toned because they are padded saddle pants of some sort. And we have 3 varieties of padded saddle pants in the game, but none of them match the color scheme of his. His are about this shade of brown on the outside and then a slightly lighter brown on the inside. We don't have anything that matches that, so I just went with these because all the other ones had other problems with them. But I think these pants look the best for him. Then for the boots, I decided to go with the Burnham boots, this kind of lightish brown, well, lightish dark brown variant. And then, so this is another area of contention because during the movie, for good portions of the movie, his boots are tucked in. He doesn't wear them Texas style, but then in other parts, he wears them on top of his pants. So you could go either way. They do appear to be slightly more pointed, but when he's wearing them outside, they have a flat top, so they don't have that Western style cutout that a lot of the boots have. They've got a flat top like the Burnham boots do, and they go up decently high, and that's why I chose to use these. But his in the movie have a slightly more pointed toe. So it really is going to come down to personal taste, but he wears brown boots. So, and then for spurs, another thing that he doesn't wear throughout the entire series, he wears them sometimes, and then sometimes you'll notice he's not wearing any. But when he does wear them, they look to be decently plain spurs, and they match his boots at least somewhat well. So I went with this variant of the Western Rider spurs because I think they look the most like the ones that he wears from the movie, despite not matching the boots terribly well. So that is the outfit. Now, obviously, there is, like I said, there's a little bit of variation. So there's one other item we can add to match him for a good portion of the movie, and that is this variant of the traditional vest, because for a good portion of the movie, he's wearing a vest. And actually, for quite a bit of it, he even buttons it up. And I know that there's one picture I'm thinking of in particular where he's wearing this vest where it's buttoned up and then he's not wearing the bandana. But so it really depends if you want to go for just the shirt with the suspenders look or the vest. I like it either way. I think I possibly like it better with just the suspenders, but either way it works really well and looks a lot like he does from the movie. But that is where we're going to end it today, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you're a fan of Lonesome Dove, I hope that you agree that it looks a lot like him. I think it does. And like I said, if you've never seen Lonesome Dove and you're a fan of Western media, I definitely recommend checking it out because it's a pretty dang good watch, especially considering that it was made a decent time ago, but it still holds up pretty well. But with all that in mind, if you liked this video, found it useful, found it entertaining in any way, shape, or form, definitely like the video. Helps me out a lot, and in the algorithm and with other people trying to decide whether or not they want to take the time to watch the video. If you have any comments, questions, thoughts, concerns, suggestions, recommendations, all of that sort of stuff, or you just want to argue with me about some choice I made during this video or something I said, then the comment section down below is the section that is appropriate for that. Start a discussion, it's great. And lastly, if you like this content and you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell bell. It's a great way to stay up to date on everything that I release, and again, you're going to be helping me and my channel. So it's a win-win. But with all that in mind, I hope you enjoyed the video, and once again, thanks a ton for watching it. But in any case, we're going to see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.